personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Little roller up along first. Behind the base. Gets through up there. Here comes Knight in the next win. See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait. All the baby is on the field. He's going to go to the end zone. Looking, throwing in the end zone.
You're tuned into Game On with Josh Silverberg and Eric Bowe. Talking all things sports. It's
Game on! Yeah, game on.
Game On, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Well, it's been a while, but we're back. You are listening and watching Game On, live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I am your host, Josh Silverberg. I guess I didn't turn my camera off while the intro was going on. I don't think I did. It's been a while.
No, I just removed it, then I put it in for you.
Ah, that's what it was. And that voice you hear, of course, is the great and powerful Speedy PD. He'll pop on the camera in just a moment. Eric Bowe is not with us this evening. He is getting ready for his son's big birthday bash tomorrow. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it, but for a good reason, of course. I'm going to my niece's birthday party tomorrow. So that should be a lot of fun. You can check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com. We're also on YouTube. And is that it for right now? We're on other things too, aren't we? I've lost it.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. Our show, the Sports Lab, is on Errol's Twitter as well.
Okay, there you go. See, and my show will be eventually.
And that is a typo. My bad.
What is it?
631-672-3108.
You gotta fix that, Speedy. Maybe I can. Can I fix that? No, you gotta do it. Lots to get into in the show, but Speedy is going to show himself on camera at any point, if I'm not mistaken. Correct, Speedy, that you are going to do that? You're just getting yourself prepared. No, now you put 2 zeros in, Speedy.
Third time's the charm.
I was going to say, maybe Speedy's the one that's been away for a while. Anyway, we have a great show for you. We're going to get into the MLB playoff picture, what is going to happen with the final home stretch, as a lot of playoff positioning is still up for grabs, so we will touch base on that. Joel Embiid gets a contract extension. There's the number, 631-672-3108. So we'll get into the Joel Embiid conversation. We'll do, of course, our NFL picks, preview week 3. Maybe the Giants have it in them to win a game. You never know. I guess when Deshaun Watson has an opportunity, Speedy, you could show yourself on camera now. It's okay. There you go. Make yourself look useful. You look decent today.
Thank you.
No problem. I know it's been a while since we've had Game On. Of course, a lot of things have happened. Of course, the birth of my new baby boy, Carter James Silverberg, born a couple weeks ago. So that's when all the changes have been happening in Horizon. But I believe we are going to stick to Mondays for now, Speedy. Is that
that's to be determined, because we might have to switch to Mondays as well for the Fish's schedule.
All right, so you know what?
We might be Tuesday, Thursday at this rate.
Well, you know what? So maybe Maybe we will come on Tuesday next week.
Alrighty.
We'll do that. I will let Eric know. This is all happening on here, by the way. And everything. It's as everything flows and goes. That's the point of what we do here. everything of that nature. But we'll get into our predictions for week 3. A lot has happened. We had a great show. So I filled in for Errol last week on the Weekend Crunch. That was a lot of fun. That was the first time I saw Speedy in a while. So that was a lot of fun, of course, to get to do that again. It's always fun to hop on board and do that. What is that hat, by the way? Did Errol give you that
Errol
hat?
gave me the hat like a few years ago.
Okay, what is on it?
It's a lion.
I know it's a lion, but like, is it a brand or is it just...
Probably. I didn't do much research into it. I
You
just I like the colors.
You gotta do some research on what you're wearing, though, don't you?
Or you could just ask Errol. I'm sure he'll know.
Yeah, he probably. I would hope he bought the hat.
Yeah.
What, did you just buy the hat for nothing? I guess some people buy hats for designs and everything like that too.
He does.
But of course, we begin our leadoff spot with last night's football game, Thursday night, Jets, Patriots, and I was listening different talk shows this morning, listening to fans this morning, myself, a Jet fan included, and look, there's a lot we're going to take into this. I spoke to Speedy about it in our pre-show meeting on the phone. There's a lot to digest and take into it. Number one, I had no idea what to do with myself yesterday. I'm not saying it to be funny. It sounds funny, but it's the truth. I've been a Jet fan forever. I never pump my chest out. I never peacock around the area saying I'm a Jet fan. It's embarrassing. What I witnessed, and again, the Patriots are not a great team, but they also played very well defensively against the Bengals on the road, and they gave the Seahawks all they can handle. They lost in overtime. What I saw last night was something the New York Jets needed to do, which was take care of business. They played a bad team. They whooped them into Nowheresville, pretty much. And we know this is going to be a very long couple of years for the New England Patriots. The biggest takeaway I got from that game last night is I didn't want to win the game 17-14, 16-10, a nail biter at the end of the game. They did, and to me, this was something that they needed to do. They needed to make their statement, the New York Jets last night. And I think it was a pretty rousing statement. When you look at they win 24-3, which is insane to even think about a Jet game winning score of that nature. But the biggest takeaway you have to get is not just about how Aaron Rodgers was throwing the ball. I think you have to talk about the mobility aspect of what he did. I didn't expect him to do that. Week 1, there was nothing happening. Week 2, he kind of was standing in the pocket a lot, not moving around too much, very skittish, with the Achilles tear being at 40 years old. Yesterday, he was very mobile, ran 3 times for 18 yards. But the thing was about how good he looked when he rolled out of the pocket. And he was finding guys. He crushed it on 3rd down for the New York Jets yesterday. I'm trying to see if I can get I'm going to get the stats in a second. I have the box score. I don't want the box score. I want the team stats. This is what I want. All right. So yesterday, the New York Jets, this is crazy. Speedy, how many first downs did the Jets had yesterday?
New York Jets.
No, look. I have it here. How many first downs do you think they had yesterday total?
I will guess 11.
11 first downs in the game total? That's cute. They had 27. They were on 3rd down. You ready for this? 10 of 15 on 3rd down.
Oh, that's I heard 3rd down. That's what I thought you meant.
No.
My bad.
No, that's fine.
I heard 3rd down.
They were 10 of 15 on 3rd down. They had 27 first downs in the whole game. That doesn't happen normally. When you have Zach Wilson, Geno Smith, Greg McElroy, Tim Tebow, Mark Sanchez, Sam Darnold, who I have a lot of respect for. I think he got the short end of the stick with the whole thing. The New York Jets were very efficient yesterday. But the biggest thing is, again, and Speedy will allude to this, I think, Speedy, you would be in agreement with me on this. I think it was just seeing how the presence of Rodgers in the pocket looked. Avoiding the pressure, not going down easy, but taking hits and getting right back up. Rodgers yesterday was 27 of 35 for 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he spread the ball around. Ty Conklin, 5 catches. Lazard, 3 catches. Mike Williams got involved, 3 catches. Garrett Wilson, 5 catches. Brees Hall, 4 catches. Xavier Gibson, Jeremy Rucker, 2 catches each. Braylon Allen, 3 catches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 different receivers caught a football yesterday. When is the last time you saw that for the New York Jets? 8. That's a lot. You know what I call that? It's called being a point guard. That's distributing the football to everybody and then some. And then, of course, you got the Morgan Moses scare, which it confirmed he's only going to be out a couple weeks, which I'm shocked. Now, again, as this is what Snug says, of course he says that. Here's the thing. I'm not saying anything about a Super Bowl or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. Speedy, have I even remotely even said that at all in this conversation? No. I'm not. Okay, let me tell you something. I've seen a lot of crappy football my lifetime with the New York Jets. The performance that I saw yesterday was the greatest I've ever seen from my franchise's history as a fan of that I've been long enough as a fan. That was the greatest game I ever saw a quarterback play for my team. I've never seen that. Yep, there goes Jeff. He's on too. See? It's good to see everybody. I've been gone for so long. But it was nice to just be able to kick back and relax for a little bit. Now, listen, we know what the expectation is. At minimum, with their schedule, at minimum, they should win 10 games with their schedule. But we'll see, of course, what happens. Things go, football's weird. Injuries go down. Obviously, last year, for example. But this is why last year, Jet fans were upset when Rodgers went down. Because you're thinking of the possibility of what could happen. But also in reality, we look at where this franchise is. This is an all or nothing year for this franchise, for this organization, for Joe Douglas, for Robert Saleh, for Aaron Rodgers. They need to make something happen. At minimum, they need to win 10 games. They need to get into the playoffs, make some noise. We'll see what happens. I'm not sitting here saying they're winning a Super Bowl or anything like that. I would never. I'm not nuts like that. That's insane. But to me, what is it? Didn't I, when we did the New York list, Speedy, on the Weekend Crunch, I think I had them as what, the 5th team?
Yeah.
I had them 5th.
Yeah.
For the best odds to win the next championship in New York. I had the Mets ahead of them.
You had both baseball teams ahead of them, the
I
Rangers
did.
and the Knicks.
Yeah. So, to me, when I look at how the Jets are, they got to continue this consistency. They got the Broncos next week. They got a nice long layoff. You got the Broncos coming in. The Broncos stink. Bo Nix. Listen, Sean Payton's not doing him any favors because he's not letting the kid throw the football. And if you're not going to let him throw the football, then why are you starting him? You know what I'd really love to see? You know what I'd really love to see play for the Broncos next week?
What do you got?
Number 2, Zach Wilson. I'd love to see that. Watch him throw 500 yards.
Oh, yeah.
What? Back-to-back weeks, you get Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson. They torch the Jets.
Followed by the Sam Darnold revenge game. Say, NFL schedule gets not too late to flex Geno Smith.
No, but the reality is when you looked at last night, but then it was also the Patriots. Obviously, listen, they don't have weapons on offense. They had rookies on the offensive line. I think one of the guys committed 3 straight holding penalties in a row on one drive. You know, I think Drake May is going to be very good. I do.
I do too.
I do. The thing is, it's you have to build around the kid, and the thing is, they don't have an offensive line. The Patriots. That's number 1. Am I wrong about that? And they don't have weapons. But forget the weapon. Think of the Chicago Bears example for right now, right? The Chicago Bears have all these weapons: DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, all these
healthy.
Yeah, all these guys, right? But who's on their offensive line? Who do the Bears have on the offensive line that's going to hold up Caleb Williams? You have to build within the trenches first. The New York Jets learned that the hard way last year. They didn't have an offensive line. They had a 38-year-old Dwayne Brown who didn't practice all year come in off the scrap heap, screws up, lets a sack go from Leonard Floyd, and boom, the season's over. You have to build within your offensive line and your defensive line. I've always said that. Two things. You got to block for the quarterback, and you have to cause chaos on the defensive line so your DBs have a chance, right? They're not having to go one-on-ones for jump balls all the time. That's what I always find, and I always found that to be the way it should be built. That's why I'm always an advocate for drafting offensive linemen, as many as possible, till you get it right. Because, again, you could take the quarterback, but then it's also like, well, who's around? Like, yeah, I'm going to say this one. I mean, listen, he's horrible right now, but the Panthers are an example. They have absolutely nothing around Bryce Young, and I'm not saying Bryce Young wasn't going to be good. I think if C.J. Stroud was in that situation, I don't think it would be good for C.J. Stroud either. Anybody. But you draft Bryce Young first overall, but in the way of it, you also trade your number one weapon in DJ Moore. And then you don't have an offensive line to build around, and you have a 34-year-old Adam Thielen as your number one receiver. How is that helping the kid out? You don't have anything on the offensive. The kid's 5'8", 5'9". Am I wrong? How, if there's no offensive line, how are you supposed to be successful if you're Bryce Young? So my point being is this. I would still listen. I felt bad for Jacoby Brissett at one point yesterday because I have a lot of respect for Brissett. He's come back from serious injuries in the past. I still think he's a good backup quarterback, but I just don't think this is the situation you could put Drake May in now. You tell me if I'm wrong. I don't, because there's nothing up front for him. You have Ramon Stevenson, who's good, had a rough game yesterday, but he's a pretty good running back, but there's no weapons around them. I mean, they have Hunter. My guy.
Boy, Hunter Henry.
I do love Hunter Henry. I do. I still think he's a good tight end. You could call me crazy, but I do think he's still a good tight end.
Yes, for his average of 5 games a year.
Hey, listen, you take those 5 games and you go somewhere with it when the playoffs happen, right? So
yes, because he's made the playoffs very often.
I'm just saying if they get there. But the point being is this: they don't have the weapons around May. They don't have the offensive. You're going to get this kid killed. You know, I'm like, look at last night when he came into the game. He got sacked 3 times. You're going to get this kid killed if you're the Patriots. I understood Gerard Mayo was extremely frustrated yesterday, and trust me, I think Gerard Mayo has done a decent job as a head coach so far. I don't think a lot of people were giving him the opportunity because, of course, when you lose Belichick, it's a tough pill to swallow. But I do think Gerard Mayo is going to build something here with the Patriots. I do. That defense, they're going to run through a brick wall for him because he's a first-year head coach. He's a former Patriot. But and he comes from the Patriot way, right, as a player. But he's so different personality-wise as Belichick, which is a lot of players. It seems like a breath of fresh air, but the results are not happening. So going back to the Jets for a second, I thought yesterday was a positive step. I didn't want to see a close game. This was a game where I said, all right, this is your time. All these years, you've been stomped on by this team. Down by 30-something points, and they're still trying to throw the football. This is your opportunity to really make a statement. That's the first time they've beaten them at MetLife, I think, in 8 years. So
if it's 8 years, that would have been a game I was at then.
Yeah, so I mean, it really, like I said, it was the efficiency for Rodgers yesterday. But again, I thought him in the pocket and the mobility. Speedy, your thoughts? I thought it was really a good thing to see. Forget the yardage and the completion percentage and all that. We knew he still could throw the football, but just to see his presence in the pocket and be able to get out of pressure and everything like that was huge.
Yeah, the 2 things you mentioned, the spreading the ball around, number 1.
8 receivers.
8 different receivers. Tyler Conklin leading with 93 yards.
Which everybody was crying about the tight end getting involved, so now he got involved.
Yes, and like that kind of thing is going to be tough for any game plan to make it work. Even when you look at the secondary targets they were getting involved too. Second tight end with Rucker got him involved. Xavier Gibson got him involved. That's the one thing. And then the mobility aspect is the other one. And I don't think you would have expected it the first game against the 49ers pass rush. And even the Titans too. The Titans have actually always done very well against mobile quarterbacks in terms of
They have a
containing
good
the pocket.
defense, Tennessee. That's the thing. I think they're better than what they should be. They should have won those first. They should have been the Jets, and they should have won the first game against the Bears.
Great. Yeah, they've had a good defensive coaching staff for a while. Even losing Mike Vrabel, they bring in some new guys, and they kept a similar mold in that defense. But they've always done well against running quarterbacks and mobile quarterbacks, keeping them in the pocket. It's just a matter of if they could stop the run and get allow the big plays because they've had issues with corners in the past. But now they have Snead. But for the Jets, yeah, that's what they needed with Aaron Rodgers, and Braylon Allen's getting a nice role in this team as well. Your boy.
I tell you, running back you. But honestly, and I will say this, you can argue with me. You tell me if I'm wrong. Who's been the better running back so far? Has it been Hall or has it been Allen?
Well, again, in terms of the impact, like per carry, it's been Allen so far. Yeah,
The thing of it is when you look at Allen, for example, you can't tackle him with one guy. That's I mean, he trained. Well, you have to remember he trained with Derrick Henry in the offseason. You can't tackle him with one player. We saw it yesterday. It looked like he had a loss of 3. He broke the tackle, and you got to gain a 2 out of it. This is the thing that was driving me nuts, though, yesterday. On the 3rd and 1s, if you're going to hand it off, just why is Hall on the field? Just give it to Allen. He should be your goal line / 3rd and short running back. That's the guy it should be. Now, of course, listen, they both have been very good so far. You take it. Again, I think the best thing about when you win a game like this on Thursday night is you get a nice long week. It's like a mini bye kind of. So you get a little extended time. You don't have to travel. You're home for Denver to come in. I'm sure Nathaniel Hackett would love another revenge game against Sean Payton, even, you know. But to me, there is 2 people I do want to talk about that have been giving me a hard time the last couple of years as a Jet fan. And they're family members of mine.
Oh. Uh-oh.
That would be my father. No. That would be my. Well, yeah.
Sounds not gonna like it.
That would be my father, Nelson Silberg, who's, by the way, in Cancun right now on vacation. And then that would be my brother, Evan, who's a huge Dolphins fan. And all they do is mock, make fun, and they text me when things go wrong and things go awry. Oh, my gosh, look at what they're doing now. Ha ha, this is so typical. It's embarrassing. That's what my brother does. And my dad brings up these stupid articles about something annoying about Aaron Rodgers and what he did. But, Speedy, what do you think I heard from them yesterday? Do you think they texted me anything?
With your dad in Cancun, I doubt it. Your brother.
Oh, no, my dad would still text me.
Okay.
You know what they were texting me about?
Oh, the fantasy score?
The Mets game.
Ah. There you go.
You know why?
There you go.
You know why? Because there was
OMG.
nothing to say about what was happening. And I'm seeing my brother tomorrow. I'm going to shake his hand. I'm going to say, by the way, that was a good game Thursday night, huh? He's going to go, yeah, you look good. I'm going to say, you didn't say anything to me. He goes, what do you want me to say? That's what he's going to tell me. What do you want me to say? I'm going to say nothing. I'm going to say you like to mention a lot of things when things go awry for my team. I don't text him when the Tua got hurt for the umpteenth time. I don't text him. I pray for the guy at this point. I want him to be able to not be in a wheelchair by the time he's 41. I didn't hear from them at all about the Jet game yesterday. My texts were silent about that. They were into the Mets yesterday. They knew what was happening. I talked to my dad on the phone earlier. And my dad goes to me, he goes, didn't I wish you congratulations on the text today? I said, no. He goes, oh, well, congratulations.
Hey, international service.
Well, you know, it was just interesting. I felt it was. Because all they do is make fun, mock. They did during the 49er game. My brother was nonstop texting. Oh my gosh, this is the Aaron Rodgers exhibition. Look at this. Da, 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 da. Last week, boy, they don't look great against Tennessee. Aaron Rodgers, they're going to go 0-2 up in smoke already. So, you know, I'm just saying. Let's see how Skylar Thompson plays. How's that?
Oh, don't worry. They could also bring back Jets legend Mike White.
No, he's not. He's on Buffalo now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's on Buffalo. They just got who they get from Baltimore? Tyler Huntley.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they signed Tyler Huntley. Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley.
Oh, that's your boy, Jeff.
Yeah. I don't understand how you tell me they couldn't get anything for him. They could get nothing for him. That's crazy. But I digress. Listen, like I said, if you're a Jet fan, you take it. I think the other big thing in all seriousness, when you look at everything that's happening, like Will McDonald. How about Will McDonald? In these last 6 sacks in these last 2 games. I didn't see that happening.
Going for the league lead.
I didn't see that happening. Did you?
No.
I did not. Somebody had to step up because Hassan Reddick doesn't want to show up to work. Douche. And I love Joe Douglas. We had a handshake agreement. Bro, you're in the NFL. There is no handshake agreement. Okay, come on. I digress on that. MLB is coming down to the wire this week. Playoff positioning is happening. All of that is going on. Speedy, our New York Mets are right in the thick of it.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the big melting pot of this one. We looked at it last night on Fox. By the way, oh my gosh. John Smoltz is the absolute worst. God. At the end of the game yesterday, the Mets win, and John Smoltz goes, the first thing he says is, well, sweeping a 4-game series is very tough to do. Like, really? Like, all he was talking about was how the Phillies are trying to clinch the division, do this, da. He didn't express one time how important this game is for the Mets. That's why nobody likes John Smoltz. Seriously. All those Braves guys. Tom Glavine, garbage. Trash. Point being is this. We got a 3-team dogfight, 4-team dogfight for all 3 wildcard spots in the National League. The Padres, the Mets, the Diamondbacks, and the Braves. And we look at it like this. Now, the Padres, after this week, they get the White Sox this weekend, so that's not going to be helpful. The Padres, they get the last week of the year, they get the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. That last series of the year is going to be fascinating because those 2 teams, you're going to want to sweep from one of those teams. That's what you want. You don't want to see a split 2 of 3 or anything. You want to see one team sweep the other. That's what you want, so they knock each other out. The Diamondbacks right now are playing the Brewers. And again, they get at the end of the season. Again, I said the Padres. The Braves are getting the Marlins this weekend, so yeah, that's going to be helpful.
Yeah, hopefully they can do what they usually do to the Mets.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, come on. And then you have the Mets who have the Phillies. 3 more games. They have the Braves, obviously. Why not? Why not in a big season have it be ending the year in Atlanta? Why not? And then you end the year with the Brewers. And at that point, the Brewers should probably know where they are playoff position-wise, and they'll probably want to set up the rotation properly. Speedy, who do you think are the 3 final teams that you think will be left standing after next week?
I think it's going to be hard for the Padres because even though they have the White Sox, I think had a 3-game winning streak.
Whoa, watch out. Give Grady Sizemore an extension.
No, I won't go that far, but maybe they're not just trying to lay down and crumble like they usually have in the past for the rest of the season because they're on pace for 39 wins this year. Yay. But you still have some tough games after that. And
how many losses are they on pace for? Are they going to break the 62 Met record?
Oh, yeah, I think they already passed that already. I think the White Sox would have to go like 7-4 in their last whatever games.
Hold on, let me see.
For them
Keep
to
going.
get there, because I think that team won 43. So if they win 43,
the Mets were 40 and 120, and the White Sox
they're 117 or one of the 17 losses, and they have 9 games left.
Yeah, who's their schedule? I'm kind of curious who the White Sox are playing.
Yeah, so I guess they would have the Padres, probably some other divisional teams, I would imagine.
They have Oh, this is. They got the Padres. They could get some wins here. They're home against the Angels.
Oh, what a series.
And then they're at the Tigers, which Tigers are fighting for their wild
They are
card
hot
spot.
right
They
now.
are, and to think they want to trade Screwball at the deadline. God, they
I,
didn't.
it's funny. I actually thought they would win the division at the start of the year. Then their offense did nothing in the first half of the season.
Well, I mean, I think the Twins have just completely fallen apart, which is so typical.
They're about what I thought they'd be. Like, I thought the Royals had some upside. I didn't think their pitching would be this good.
Actually, I think the team that's completely collapsed is the Orioles.
Yeah, they're stuck in mediocrity right now.
They have no pitching. But anyway, we were talking about who are the teams that you think are. So you think the Padres are going to be the lone team out?
No, because I think they've done well enough against the Astros to prove they could beat the tough teams. And again, it's tough to tell with the Dodgers with all their pitching injuries if that's going to be as hard of a series as expected. I think the Diamondbacks will end up surpassing them, though, and I think they'll win the head-to-head series, though. I think the Braves offense right now is still the toughest to trust. So I think the Padres get a slight edge there.
So you think Padres will get in?
I think the Diamondbacks will get in, then the Mets, then the Padres in that order.
Okay, so the Braves are out.
Braves out. Yeah.
See, it's weird because on MLB.com, it shouldn't have this. By the way, the Mets should be ahead of the Diamondbacks in the standings because the Mets won the season series. I don't know why it has it like that. Interesting. I think the Padres will get in. I think the Mets will get in. I think the Braves are going to get in too.
Okay.
I think Arizona, they got 3 more games with Milwaukee this weekend. That's tough. You know, because Milwaukee's still fighting for that. They're only 3 games out of the 2 seed to get a bye.
That's understandable.
You know, so for them, it's a matter of like they're trying to figure out how can we do this, but it's also I think what they're trying to do is also figure out where can we go with our rotation where we don't screw anything up for the playoffs.
Sure.
That's why I think depending on what's going to happen by the weekend next week, who knows who's going to be playing for Milwaukee at that point. And who knows, maybe the Mets will have stuff locked up already for the playoffs. You never know. I mean, it's literally 2 games separate the Padres and the Mets and the Diamondbacks, and then 2 games the Braves are behind because you have to remember the Rockies beat the Diamondbacks 2 of 3, and the Braves lost a game to the Reds, which was a killer, while the Mets swept the Nationals. Opposite of 2022, where the Mets lost to every bad team.
Yeah.
So when I look at this whole thing, look, you wait for the Francisco Lindor news. The report coming out today is that he is going to try to run in the outfield if everything goes according to well. Mendoza said he felt great this morning. He's going to do baseball activities today. I don't think you're going to see him till the Braves series, if you are going to see him. But Luis Angel Acuna has done wonders for this team. He's been a savior for this team. And I feel like he's been an energizer for this team because guys are waking up. Pete Alonso, who was in his slumber as the polar bear, was in hibernation all year, has woken up. Brandon Nimmo, who had a miserable second half, he's hitting well. Francisco Alvarez has 4 home runs, I think, in his last 7 games. Mark Vientos was on a little bit of a slump, but he's red hot again. So when you see what the Mets are doing right now, plus the starting pitching has been out of these teams, these 4 teams, the Braves have the best starting pitchers with Fried and Sale. But you tell me, I think the Mets have the best pitching depth in the rotation of all 4 of these teams.
Weird to think.
Am I wrong?
It's very weird to think.
It's the facts. I mean, Severino threw 3 runs for 6 innings yesterday. And that wasn't even him pitching that great. And he still got through 6 innings. I think the other key is that Edwin Diaz is back. Throwing 100, 101 again. I mean, welcome to the party. Granted, how many games they would have already had won had he not blown 7 or 8 of them in the beginning of the year?
Sure we could say that about every team, though.
No, but him specifically. He was brutal. So when we look at where we are with these teams, like I said, I think the Diamondbacks are going to be the odd team out here. Because, you look at like I said, they have Milwaukee. I think the other killer is Merrill Kelly's not been great this year. You're at Milwaukee for the next 3 games. Then you're home against the Giants. The Giants would love to just knock them out. And then you're home against the Padres. Division rivals. And then you're against, like I said, against the Padres. Now, it's fascinating because I want to see who the Braves end the season with. I got it. Let me get it. Here. Yeah, see, so the Braves have the Marlins this weekend. The Braves they got the Mets, and then they got the Royals.
Mm-hmm.
And the Royals are going to try to jump the Orioles.
Sure.
Because they get home games at Kauffman if that happens. So I'm guessing Sale and Fried are going to start the Mets series. One would think.
Yeah.
Just like the Mets are going to have, I believe, Severino, Peterson, Manaea in those 3 games. The Braves will have Fried and Sale in those games.
Battle of all the top lefties and Severino.
Well, the Mets hit Fried well earlier in the year. I mean, they're 5-5 against each other this year. But listen, we know Ozzie Albies, he's back. So that's a little plus for the Braves. Still no Austin Riley. You're not going to see him. Ronald Acuna's out for the season. We know that. Albies, he's been out for months. So he's just coming back. Plus, the Braves bullpen has been okay. It's not been like it normally is. It's been okay. But I do think the Braves and the Mets and the Padres are going to be the teams that get. I think the Diamondbacks should be the odd team out. And then you never know at this point. Because the wildcard teams have dominated the last couple of years from the National League getting to the World Series. The Phillies 2 years ago, the Diamondbacks last year.
And I still think the Diamondbacks can if they get in this year.
Yeah, exactly. I think with that team, especially when Gurriel comes off the IL, I think it really is helpful. But listen, we'll see what happens with all that. As far as the American League goes, right now the Yankees and Cleveland are tied for the top spot, which is huge, by the way. That's big. Because if the Yankees were to play the Guardians in the ALCS, that's another year that the Yankees do not have home field in the ALCS. Because all the years they played at the Astros, they didn't have home field. Remember that. So now it would be huge if they don't get that home field against Cleveland. And Cleveland's interesting, right? They have a good bullpen. The rotation without Bieber have sustained itself.
Yeah.
Which is, Class A has been unbelievable this year. But you like Jose Ramirez is doing what he always does, but then Josh Naylor's taking it up another level this year. Steve Kwan, has been fantastic for them. They got Lance Thomas at the deadline, everything like that. Right? Did I say the right guy? I said Kwan, I think, right? Did I say the right guy?
Yeah, Stephen Kwan and Lane Thomas.
Yeah. I'm trying to think where. Like right now, Kwan's on the IL right now. But they're hoping that he could be back for the playoffs, is what they're saying. I mean, Kwan's been huge for them this year. Speedy, your thoughts on the American League picture and what you see?
Yeah, it's interesting because you're right about the Orioles. They've hit kind of mediocrity just trying to figure out their pitching. And we knew their bullpen was kind of going to be a question mark anyway. So it seems like the Yankees are going to coast to the division. Now the Orioles and Yankees still play one more time. If the Orioles can sweep that series, maybe they make it interesting, but their run differential is actually below the Royals and the Guardians now, which the Orioles were right behind the Yankees all year in run differential, which they haven't gotten there. The Guardians, again, they're an interesting wild card because they're a young team. Like you said, that bullpen makes it tough. The starting pitching depth, they're going to have to be more creative with. Tanner Bybee's been good, but besides that, it's not a lot of question marks. The Royals are very interesting, though, because I think with their starting pitching depth and their speed that they have on that team, they could definitely be the sleeper. You talk about the National League with the wild card teams. If there's any team that could be like Texas last year, I think it could be them.
The Royals.
Yeah,
that's what I said. I think we said that too. We said the Royals, they could give the Yankees the toughest task.
Yeah,
I think because that starting pitching and the lineup too is interesting. I think the Yankees will get to the World Series. They should. If they don't this year, then as I said on the Weekend Crunch, I said if not now, then when? That's the point. Because you have a lot of question marks in the offseason. Garrett Cole, will he take the option? Juan Soto, free agency looming. All these things. Plus you want to see development for guys next year. Anthony Volpe's not had a good season. Jason Dominguez just came up. He's been pretty good, but Volpe's not been good this year. So you're waiting for the development of these teams. Clark Schmidt's been huge for the Yankees with the rotation, but now it seems like Cortez has figured himself out. Maybe Cortez needed a break from the rotation and put it in the bullpen, and now he's back in the rotation, and he's good again. But we know the rotations in the playoffs. It's going to be Cole. It's going to be Heel. It's going to be Rodon, and it'll probably be Schmidt. That's going to be the rotation. Stroman will be in the bullpen. He stinks. Geez, everybody saw that coming. But I think the Royals are the toughest task for them, but I don't know how. We'll see how Yankee fans feel if they have to play the Astros again. Now, the Astros are not great this year, but we never know with them, right?
Yeah, they're a hot team in the second half, but is it?
And you still have the lineup. You got Tucker, Alvarez, Bregman, Altuve, Pena. You still have a lot of guys. The rotation's different, other than with Fromber, but you have, like I said, I always forget the kid's name that threw the
Ronel Blanco.
Ronel Blanco, who will pitch in that rotation. Hunter Brown will be in the rotation. Verlander will be there. He's not been great,
But he kills the Yankees.
because my question is, if the Yankees play the Astros, are the Yankee fans, are they going to be nervous?
Of course. They should be.
Because it's almost like they lost to who was the manager for the Astros before Baker? It was
AJ Hinch.
First they lose to AJ Hinch, then they lose to Dusty Baker. Now it's like Joe Espada. We're gonna lose to him now. So it's like if we lose to Espada after we lost to Hinch and Baker, we can't be anybody.
Speaking of which, if the Tigers get the last wild card spot, it'd be AJ Hinch versus
Oh,
the
that's
Astros.
true. I didn't think about that. Wouldn't that be funny? And Espada was, I think, Hinch's bench coach.
Yeah, that's why he got the job.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Speedy and I are going to discuss NFL Week 3, as it's already off to our blowout start with the Jets boosting the Patriots' hopes and dreams for the season of relevancy out the door. And we'll get to other games as well, as there's some interesting ones. Ravens-Cowboys, the must-win for both teams. We'll discuss all that when we come back right here on Game On.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm going to keep ticking. But no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Game on! Game on!
We're back. You're listening to Game On with Josh Silverberg and Eric Bowe.
Speedy, I got to find a way to put your name with Speedy PD as well at times. I got to find a way to put your name maybe on the Game On thing as well. But we're back here for the second half of Game On. Eric Bowe will be back next week. Looking forward to it. Let's hope for his sake and for Speedy's sake, the Giants get a win. For week 3, Speedy, you have the games and you have everything. Let's shoot them off.
All righty. We'll start with the battle of the defensive one overperformer and one we expect. The Steelers and the Chargers. The Steelers are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is 34.5.
For the Steelers are 2.5.
The Steelers are 2.5.
Where's the game in Pittsburgh?
No, the Chargers are home.
And the Steelers are the favorite?
Oh, wait, the site have it wrong. Oh, wait, no, you're right. The Steelers are the favorite. The site has it reversed.
That's crazy. The Steelers are the favorite in that game? Oh, no. I would definitely – it's 2.5, too? I mean, that's close.
Yeah,
but...
no, they are at home. I have – this site has it all wrong.
Oh, okay. The Chargers are home. No, the Steelers are home?
Steelers
okay.
Are home.
Steelers are home. It's always tough for a West Coast team to travel, 1 o'clock start. It's odd, right? It feels weird. That's how teams usually struggle. Do I really trust Justin Fields, though? I mean, are they going to kick another 5 field goals to win a game again? I don't know if you're going to get by with that. Now, Herbert's hurt with the ankle issue. By the way, it's really awkward seeing when Harbaugh did the chest thing with Kaepernick, it was like unique. When he does it with Herbert, it's weird because Herbert just doesn't look like a guy that's ever been coached the proper way, so he's not used to it.
Oh, yeah, he had to spend 3 years with Brandon Staley.
That's what it is. So, 2.5. Oh, man. This is a tough game. What a tough game you started with, Speedy. Steelers have a good defense. I'll take the Steelers. I'll take it with the 2.5. I'll lay the 2.5 on that one. What's the over? And now
34.5.
34.5. I'll do the 2.5. So I'm going to pick the Steelers in that one, right? I'll do what are they 2.5? You said
2.5 favorites.
Yeah, so I'll take that to 2.5.
Yeah, I like the Steelers here too. I don't know if the Chargers also be able to run the ball as effectively either. J.K. Dobbins has had a hot start. That offensive line's been great, but the Steelers have a very good interior defensive line as well, which I think will make it harder for him to get it going. The Chargers outside receivers against those Steelers corners, I think will be a difficult matchup for them too. I have my doubts with the parts of the Steelers offense because the Chargers defense has looked good as well, so I think it will keep it close. But give me the Steelers. I like the spread, and I will take the over. I will take the over in that one.
Okay, let's go.
So we got the Chicago Bears at the Indianapolis Colts. It's -1. Colts are favored and 43.5.
Colts are favored
by 1. Yeah.
Williams has looked bad. Richardson has looked worse, which is crazy because I don't know. Something's off about this Colt team this year. Don't like it. I think they're actually going to be sellers at the deadline this year. I'm going to be shocked if they try to accumulate more draft picks to build around Richardson. I think the Colts will win this game, though. I don't trust the Bears' offensive line. That's the problem. I don't trust the Colts either. But I just don't see anything flowing right now well for the Chicago Bears in general. At 1, Colts are favored by 1. I'll take the spread on that one. And, yeah, give me the Colts.
I'm going to go with the Bears for 2 reasons. One of which, Anthony Richardson still has not been efficient as a passer quite yet. And I think the Bears secondary is very good. Like, they're one of the most underrated units in the league. Both teams have had trouble stopping the run this year, so I think it'll be good for both of their running backs to get going. But I do think the Bears, without Forrest Buckner on that Colts offense, the defensive line too, that's going to be a tougher matchup for them. So I like Chicago. I like the under in this one. And obviously I'll pick them practically so they'll win the game. All right, so
yeah, that's
the Texans at the Vikings.
This is interesting.
Texans are 1.5-point favorites to 46.5.
Wow, no respect still for the Vikings, huh? No respect. It's interesting. Sam Darnold, he looks. And you know what? I'm very happy for Sam. I really am, because he got a raw deal here with the Jets. He did. I think they should have still tried to build around him at the time. To me, obviously, Houston is a Super Bowl contender. You know, CJ Stroud's been good. He's been right. You'd say he's been good, not fine, great, like he was last year. So maybe teams are figuring him out a little bit. Vikings are a little banged up. We have to see if Justin Jefferson's going to play this week. I'm gonna go with Houston in this one. And what's the spread you said? Houston's favored by
1.5
1.5.
favorite.
I'll take the 1.5. Give me the points. I'll take Houston in this one. It's gonna be tight though. But again, a lot of injuries in Minnesota right now.
Yeah, one of the themes of this week is so far overperforming team versus powerhouse team. And the Texans, I think a lot of people perceive as a powerhouse. But this Vikings defense has been very impressive this year. And I still have my doubts with Houston's offensive line outside of Tunsil and a couple others. Like, I think the Vikings are going to be able to rush the passer and make it harder on Stroud. And I think that Brian Flores will have a good game plan for Nico Collins the way he had it for Ayuk last week. I think it's not going to be as easy for him to get it going. So I actually am going to take the Vikings here. A very tight game. I'm going to go on the under, but I'm going to take Minnesota. All right, the New York Giants at the Cleveland Browns.
What's the spread, Speedy?
The spread, unfortunately, is the Browns 6.5 point favorites.
Oh, gosh.
And the over under 38.5.
Oh my gosh, that's the biggest spread for a positive Deshaun Watson's going to have all year until he gets suspended again, probably, and then they could. I'll tell you what, in the back of Cleveland's mind, I hate to say it, they're kind of hoping that happens because if it's an off the field incident, they actually can get out of the contract. So if it's an off the field incident, this could happen. The Giants are so bad. That was bad last week. 7 field goals. The Giants scored 2 touchdowns and they still lost. You're starting to see something with Brian Dable. He's starting to get very frisky with the media and not in a good way. He's getting to his tone, if you notice during his post-game Speedy last week, not good. He got testy with them. Very testy, if you notice that there with the whole Gano questioning and everything like that.
Yeah.
He didn't like that.
Find a kicker.
And here's the thing. Once you start fighting with the New York media, you're losing. It's over. The most recent coach to do that in this town was Gerard Gallant. He was fired then 2 days later. You're never going to win if you fight with the media in New York. You won't. I think Dable's going to be out after this year. I think Shane might be out after this year. I think Belichick is going to take – I think Bill Belichick's going to take over the team next year. That is what I think is going to happen. I think Cleveland – now, Myles Garrett's not healthy. But the Giants are on the road. I think this is going to be too much for them. And, again, it's the same thing. You draft Malik Neighbors, right? But then you don't have an offensive line to help Daniel Jones. You don't have anything else. But the thing is, I don't believe in Daniel Jones anymore. I thought I tried to. I can't do it anymore. 6.5. Give me the 6.5 for the Cleveland Browns. I think they'll win this game. I think it'll be close in the beginning. I think they'll run away with it in the second half. And then you're going to start to really hear the seat's going to be piping hot at that point for Dable.
Yeah, definitely on the under in this one, 38.5. I think the Giants defense will hold their own. Cleveland's offensive line.
I hope so.
I
they only gave 7 field goals last week, but again.
Yeah, the Giants have done well against other teams' number 1 receivers, and I don't think the Browns' receiving depth is that great, where maybe Jerry Jeudy, if he plays like he did last week, probably will do well, but Amari Cooper hasn't really played
Nobody's done anything on Cleveland, Speedy, because Deshaun Watson stinks.
I know that, but at the same time, the Browns' defense, even if Myles Garrett is limited, I think he'll still be able to make it harder in that secondary for Malik Neighbors. I don't think Malik Neighbors has that kind of game either.
I think the biggest thing is that you'll have Andrew Thomas to kind of be able to withstand Myles Garrett. It's everything else. And if Garrett's not healthy, that could kind of push away the pass rush a little bit. But I just don't think it's going to be enough.
The Giants' O-line actually has been better than I thought, though. I'm more worried about the second levels with everything else because Devin Singletary doesn't look good either.
Well, I'm waiting for Jalen Hyatt, their second-round pick, to do something. Yeah. I mean, again, that's another Joe Shane pick. So
give me the Browns. They'll cover the spread and win on the under. All right, the Eagles and the Saints. The Saints are 3-point favorites at home, and the over-under is 49.5.
People are on the Saints bandwagon, huh? They start 2 blowouts, and they said, that's it. We love Derek Carr. We love this guy. He's back to the way he was a couple years ago when he was an MVP candidate before he got hurt. Remember that? With John Gruden?
Yep.
To me, it's really a unique thing to watch this. Now, this is the Saints' home debut. You have to remember, they won these 2 games, I believe, on the road, if I'm not mistaken.
No, this first game was at home for the Saints. They beat Carolina.
That's Carolina. That doesn't count. Philadelphia's coming off a very tough loss. They should have won that game against Atlanta. Saquon Barkley just botched the play, and everybody's screaming and yelling about the play call. Listen, I thought it was the right play call. I'm sorry. Guy's got to catch the ball. You're paying him all this money. Now, I know he's not a catching running back. He's never been able to. But you're paying him all this money. You got to catch the football there. If you catch the football, they win the game. It's that simple. I know Sirianni's getting killed. I can't stand him. He's so annoying. Vic Fangio does not know how to run this defense. This defense has been putrid for them this year so far. It's embarrassing watching them use Bryce Huff the way they've used him. Like, it is.
Hey, don't worry. They've been able to rebirth Jets legend Mekhi Becton.
Please. Until he vomits or gets hurt again or something like that.
He's trying to lose some weight.
He's been trying to lose weight for years, Speedy. This is a tough one. All the hype is on the Saints. It really is. Obviously, you can tell by the betting. I'm going to go surprise here. I'm going to take the Eagles. I might regret this. I think they have a bounce back. I believe A.J. Brown's going to play this week, if I'm not mistaken.
He's on track, though. Nothing's different.
Yeah, I think that's something they missed. Listen, they won week 1. They should have won last week. They had it was a bad game they lost. I had not all fully 110% committed with the Saints yet. I'm not. They've had 2 great games. Let's call it like this. They just dismantled the Cowboys last week, so give me the Eagles in this one.
Yeah, give me the Eagles as well. I like their offensive line to be able to hold their own. The Saints pass rush is still they're good, but they're still not what they used to be. And I think Jalen Hurts against more of a base defense can run the ball a lot better. I think the Saints offense comes down to earth a little bit. I think they'll be able to move the ball, but I don't know if they're going to be able to score it these big plays at will. I think the Eagles are going to make them a little more methodical. I'm going to take them on the under in this one.
Okay.
All right, the Broncos and the Buccaneers. Bucks are 6.5 point favorites, 40.5.
This is easy. This is quick. I'm believing in Baker Mayfield this year. Todd Bowles, what a great job he's done with Tampa Bay. Boy, they've been fantastic. Give me the Bucks. Easy.
Yep.
Bo Nix, they're not letting him throw the football down the field. I don't know what happened there. They're not letting him throw the football down the field at all. They're not giving him a chance. Sean Payton's not trusting his quarterback that he drafted, that he wanted him to start right away. And now it's almost like you can't bench him because you're going to bench him. It's like now you're going backwards. You already ruined him then. So give me the Bucks. Easy peasy. I like Tampa this year. I think that loss to the Lions in the playoffs was a lesson learned. And then they go into Detroit last week and beat them too was impressive. Give me the Bucks.
Yeah, give me the Bucks. I think the Broncos defense has been fine where I think they'll go on the under. I think they'll be able to hold their own, maybe Tampa to field goals. We've seen that issue with them last year, but definitely Tampa wins the game and covers the spread. All right, the Packers at the Titans. 2.5 point favorites are the Titans, and the over-under is 38.
We don't know if Jordan Love's playing yet. I don't think he should play yet. No. I think you got to let him rest as long as you need, because I think Green Bay could come back and make the playoffs still. I think it's going to shock you. I think Malik Willis is going to have a good game against his former team. I do. I trust LaFleur. The defense for Green Bay has gotten better this year. Clearly, you can see the adjustments they've made. They have enough good players on their defense. They should be a good defense. Give me the Packers. I expect Will Levis to do something stupid again. I really do. And it's not even being funny. It's just truthful. Give me the Packers.
This team has been pretty impressive with the new coaching staff, a lot of new offensive and defensive players, both sides of the ball, in the Tennessee Titans. I've been impressed with them. Like you said, they should have beaten the Jets last week very easily. Just they keep avoiding those mistakes. I think they'll be able to learn from that kind of thing. And I think this is a tougher matchup with the outside rushing defense for the Packers, and Malik Willis. I don't think he'll be able to run like he did last week against the Colts. So I think it'll be an under, definitely. I'm going to say a battle of the defenses, and I just think Tennessee's running game is still efficient. So give me Tennessee in a tight one on the under, and they'll cover the 2.5. All right, the Panthers at the Raiders.
Raiders, move on next.
Raiders win easily. Sorry, Andy Dalton. Dolphins at the Seahawks, 4.5.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough stretch for Miami.
41.5 the over.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. They got to go to Seattle. Skylar Thompson. I don't see it. I think this is going to be a tough stretch. Tua's going to be out for the next month and a half. They're saying possibly, right? He's on IR, so he'll easily minimum 6 games. That's brutal. Give me the Seahawks in this one. Their receivers had a great game last week against New England. So I'll take Seattle.
I'll take Seattle. I'm going to take the under, though, because Miami's defense has actually been better than I would have expected. They struggled against the run last week with James Cook, and Kenneth Walker is a good running back when he's healthy, but not 100%.
And even when Tua played, they weren't playing well.
Yeah, I think
something's off with them this year.
I think Miami will keep it close for a little while. Seattle pulls away in the fourth quarter. I think they cover the spread. I'll take them on the under. All right, the Lions at the Cardinals. The Lions are favored by 3. 51.5 is the over/under.
Cardinals had a great game last week. The Rams are so shot at this point. They have nothing left. All their players are hurt. I think Detroit has a massive bounce back. I trust Dan Campbell to get his team prepared, ready to go. This is a good bounce back spot for them. Give me the Lions.
I think the Lions win too, but I do think it's close. I think the Cardinals defense,
I hate Kyler Murray.
When Cooper Kupp was on the field, they still played well against him. I think this defense is going to made some progress. But here's the problem. The Lions secondary still hasn't been great either yet. And I think now there's more confidence in those outside receivers. You saw a big game from Marvin Harrison, but even some of the secondary guys, they're getting it going as well. So I think the Cardinals do keep it close, but I don't think their defense plays as well. So I'm going to take Detroit in a tight game on the under. All right, the Ravens at the Cowboys. Ravens are 1-point favorites. It's 47.5.
This is the must-win game for both of these teams. I think Baltimore should have won week. They should have at least tied it week 1. They were an inch away if the footing was down for Isaiah Likely. The foot positioning didn't get down. And then last week was just, I don't even have words. That was the worst loss under the John Harbaugh ever I can remember from the Baltimore Ravens. It was just a mitigated disaster. Everything just spiraled out of control for them. Cowboys just looked wretched last week against New Orleans. They're another one. I don't know if I trust them fully. I don't. I think Baltimore bounces back. I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I do. I think the Ravens get back on track. If the Ravens start 0-3, they're in massive trouble at that point.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens, too. I think this is finally the breakout for Derrick Henry. He's had 2 rough games so far in a Ravens
He hasn't
uniform.
fit in that offense at all.
I think this is the game that comes through. The Cowboys on the edges have not been as good, losing Dan Quinn to the Commanders with the new coordinator with Mike Zimmer, who's been more of a speed rushing type guy, but the run defenses have been suspect for him in the past as well. I think this is a good game for Derrick Henry to break out. I think the Cowboys will play better offensively than they did last week, but still, I think the Ravens still win the game. I'm going to take them on the over in this one. Okay. All right, the 49ers, who are 6.5-point favorites at the Rams. The over-under is 43.5.
The Rams have nothing left. I think San Francisco's like 8-2 in their last 10 games in LA since the Rams moved back there. I mean, they lost the playoff game. Of course, that was a killer, but Debo's out, Kittle's out, possibly. Then for the Rams, Nakua's out.
They have 3 linemen out.
So. Yeah, 3 linemen out. Kupp is out. It's an injury game, but McCaffrey's still out. I mean, this is just an injury-rattled team right now. I trust San Francisco's defense more than the Rams' defense, so I'll take the 49ers.
I'm going to take the 49ers to win the game. I think the Rams do cover the spread, though, the 6.5. I'm surprised it's that high because of that. Like, I don't know if you could – I think Sean McVay's still going to be creative enough to do some of those concepts with these other second-tier receivers. There's a reason Puka Nacua broke out last year. Like, Sean McVay does these things, and I think he'll keep the game close. I think the Niners do win. I'm going to take them on the over, but I do think the Rams do cover the spread. All right, Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs at the Falcons. Chiefs are 3-point favorites, over under 46.5.
I love this game, and I got to tell you something. The Chiefs easily could be 0-2 right now. Very lucky that they won those 2 games. And I'm going to take the Falcons in this one. I think they're feeling high and mighty after that win last week. And I think the Falcons, this is where you're going to start to see and feel this team out, right? I think Bijan Robinson's going to have a big breakout game this week. I do. Drake London's going to be good for this offense. I'm waiting for Kyle Pitts to also have his moment with Kirk Cousins. But, boy, Drake London and Kirk Cousins, that connection together has been great. I have not liked how the Chiefs have looked. Now, granted, they won both their games, but tell me, they were lucky to win both of those games. They were. They shouldn't have won the Bengal game last week. They were very lucky to win the Ravens game if likely lands in bounds and that goes into overtime. Who knows? I haven't liked how the flow of the Chiefs this year. I'm going to take the Falcons.
All righty. I am going to agree with you.
Yeah, I like this.
Because here's the thing. The Falcons, their defense has been very good.
Arthur Blank's putting himself in the Hall of Fame. Everything's on sale for them this week. Are you kidding me? Yeah, they're doing discounts. Come on, man. It's going to be nuts in Atlanta.
But their secondary has actually been one of the best in football so far this year. Their run defense has been a little iffy, but the Chiefs just lost Pacheco. Are they going to be able to get that with their backup running backs who don't know their scheme as well is going to be another question. And I think the Falcons offense is going to be able to move the ball. Their offensive line's played well. So I think they do win this game as well. I'm going to take Atlanta. I'm going to take them on the under, and they'll win the game as underdogs. Yeah.
Okay.
So Monday Night Football, there's 2 games.
2 games.
We'll start with
I don't know
the,
why they did that, but sure.
We'll start with the Josh Allen Bowl, the Jaguars versus the Bills. It's funny. Errol and I are trying all 22 fantasy football for the first time this year, and I drafted both Josh Allen.
Oh, you should have called your name.
It's Josh Allen squared. Yeah.
There you go. The Jaguars are so bad.
Oh, by the way, 5.5 point favorites are the Bills, 45.5.
Yeah, the Jaguars are so bad. They're a mess right now. And I think Doug Peterson is a good coach. I just think something's wrong with this team. Really, Trevor Lawrence is messed up right now. Josh Allen's is arguably the best player in football. Right? We can make that statement. We can make that case. They're at home. They're feeling good. Give me the Bills in this one. I think they're going to slaughter Jacksonville.
I'm not going to go as far as slaughter, but I do think they cover the spread and win this game. I think Jacksonville's defense has looked good at certain points where I think it's going to keep the game close for a little while. The problem is I think the Jags offensive line has still had their issues this year, and it's made it harder on Trevor Lawrence, who's not super mobile. And while Travis Etienne has been good at points, he hasn't been as consistent, and the Bills still have struggled to stop the run. But I think a longer week to prepare, they played on Thursday, will help them out. So I think Buffalo does win on the under and cover that spread. And then the other one, the great Washington Commanders against the Bengals, 7.5 point favorites are Cincinnati, and it's 47.
The Bengals better win this game. If they go 0-3-2, it's a problem. But I do think they will win. Something's up with Jamar Chase this year. He didn't play all training camp. You're seeing it too, by the way. He looks off. T. Higgins is not healthy. I still think the Bengals are going to win, but it's going to be closer than people think. I think Washington's going to give them fits, so I'll take the Bengals.
Yeah, I think this is their coming out party. I think this is one of the worst secondaries, one of the worst pass rushes in football with Washington. Just because they held the Giants does not make it impressive because the Giants' offense is nothing outside of Malik Neighbors. So I think this is their coming out party. I think it's a blowout. Give me the Bengals.
All right. And that's it for our picks. Good job, Speedy.
Yeah, we both had the Falcons up. So.
I tell you, I believe in the Atlanta Falcons. I don't believe in the Chiefs this year. Something is off with them, too. It's odd. Mm-hmm. I don't like how they
Same thing I said about the Texans. Like, they both struggled in, both their games.
Mahomes has looked very sketchy in these 2 games. He really has. And we'll see what happens. Really quickly, how about the Joel Embiid extension today? 3 years, 190 million, I think it was.
90 million.
I think that's what, if you want to confirm that, but he'll be there for the next 3 years. So don't worry, Knicks fans, he's not coming here. You can breathe a sigh of relief.
About 193.
You can breathe a sigh of relief, and no more Woj bombs.
That's true.
Yeah, that's it. He's gone to St. Bonaventure to be the GM there now. Mm-hmm. Crazy. So you wonder, Shams' contract is up after this year. I would imagine he's going to be the guy, or it's going to be who's the Windhorst will be the other one. I think it's one of those two will be the new head NBA writer. Mm. No more Woj bombs, though.
Yeah, probably will. It's the same company. Probably will be Windhorst.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But now it's time for the better than that segment. Speedy, what you got?
All right, I'm going to go with a particular Patriots wide receiver with a very weird tweet, and that was Jalen Reagor, who said, "Oh, I'm the pride of the Patriots practice squad, so I'm going to post a meme of the car with the broken down house, thinking he's that much better than everyone else when he really isn't." So Jalen Reagor, who's now cut, maybe he could go back to the Eagles to get berated by their fans again. Jalen Reagor, you're better than that.
Mine is the NFL officiating. I mean, oh my gosh, last night. Some of the calls were fine, but there was someone like, dude, what are we doing? How can these guys play football anymore? It's impossible. NFL officiating, you are better than that by a mile, maybe. You can check out other great shows such as the Sports Loudmouths, the Betting Show, all that, and so much more. Of course, the Wise Guys, right?
They are back. They've been on twice.
Okay, we're back. I just want to make sure. I've been gone for a while. And all that and so much more. And, of course, here at Game On, you can check out the Weekend Crunch on Saturdays at 7 p.m. or after the New York Islanders play. Along when the Mets are up 1-0, Jose Iglesias with a leadoff home run. OMG. So that will help. All these great shows. Check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com. Of course, our YouTube page. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're still figuring out the whole X thing going on right now. Yeah. So we'll figure that out at some point. Don't worry. We'll be good. It was good to be back. I miss this. I have my 2 boys at home, my beautiful wife, Melissa, at home. It's amazing. I love my family, but I miss this. I miss seeing Speedy in the studio. I miss seeing Eric on the screen, everything like that. He will be back next Tuesday, and we will dissect possibly an 0-3 Giants start, which he'll find some silver lining to it, like he always does. You know how Eric is. Eric is positive.
Then he'll find a way to pick you for you're better than that.
Probably that will happen, but he might be on the Yankees right now, though. He might be so focused on the Yankees right now and like the whole tunnel vision with the Yankees. He's like, I have to try and stake whatever. But Speedy, thank you of course, for doing what you do, being a producer here and doing everything you do here for the network. Thank you so much to the fans for listening and for commenting. Of course, Snug and Jeff, miss you guys. Love those comments. Keep them coming. Phone calls. We want them to come back. Come on. Spread your voice. Show your voice. Want to hear it. Speedy, have a great weekend.
You too.
I got a swamp. I got to take my kid to the dentist tomorrow morning at 10. So I got to go home. Have a good weekend. Enjoy all the football this weekend. You got good college games too. Now you got rid of the garbage. You get Tennessee, Oklahoma, right? You get Michigan, USC. So you're starting to get some good games now. And enjoy the playoff races, guys. We'll see where everything happens. I know when we're back possibly Tuesday night, game 1, Mets Braves. I mean, that's as big as it gets, but we'll talk soon. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. You've been listening and watching Game On the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.